It's your friendly neighborhood laser lady, and if you are feeling like the projects you are making with your laser is getting a little stale, well, you are in luck because I have a list of 100 laser cut products you can make for yourself and your customers for you today. Now, there's a bit of a caveat. There will not be any signs on this list. I believe I could make a whole other video someday of 100 different signs and sign ideas for you, so wait for that for the future. As well as jewelry, I believe I could come up with 100 different kinds of jewelry and jewelry styles for you. So let's shelf that for now. Same with holidays. Oh boy, don't even get me started. So today we are going to cover everything else. We're talking stuff for the kitchen, the bedroom, the kids, and your pets. Everything. This list is a little bit long, so buckle up, Buttercup. Let's get started. Of course, we are starting in the kitchen. Design inspiration includes monograms, wedding dates, special occasions, and funny phrases and things like that, depending on the niche you're looking into or already do. So here's the list. First thing is engraved wooden utensils. They are so easy to buy, ready to be engraved. They just pretty much have to be wood. And speaking of custom tools in the kitchen, you can also make a engraved rolling pin. Now, not to fret, I don't have a rotary attachment to my laser either, but you are completely capable of making cookie cutters or cookie stamps. If you are so fortunate to have that rotary, of course, cups, tumblers, mugs, and stuff are super easy for you to engrave. Let's get back to flat things. And that includes, obviously, cutting boards. Stir sticks are a super easy one to make. I even have a few tutorials on how to make your own, even heat shape some of your own. Appetizer forks are another thing that I kind of rope into with cake and cupcake toppers. I actually also just made another video about that, so check that out if you design things in Inkscape. Really suggest considering coasters with a fancy box to go along with it. I find it's a little bit easier to sell than individual coasters when you have like an entire gift item for somebody to give to someone or to keep if they use coasters, but I'm not that fancy. A glass baking dish, or pretty much anything flat and glass. A dirty clean dishwasher magnet is super fun. One theme I see a lot in making things for the kitchen that customers are asking for is custom stuff. Something you can slap a name on or an anniversary date is primo. So that's why doing a custom cookbook cover is super special to anybody who likes making their own recipes, or perhaps it can be grandma's old recipes that you give to everyone in your family or something like that. While we're on the subject of cookbooks, where are they going to be putting this cookbook? A custom cookbook stand can be just as special as a cookbook cover itself. I'm sure you know someone who likes wine, and darn it, they probably need a wine rack. If you're not so into wine, then perhaps a beer caddy for on the go that is customized to someone's name or little homebrew label would make a very cute product. A custom fruit holder or a basket, like one of those banana holders with a cool basket underneath, could be a super fun addition to anyone's kitchen, especially if you are using custom materials, custom colors, engrave someone's name on there, get fruity with it. And lastly, to wrap up the kitchen is a conversion chart magnet. It could also be a plaque or something, but I like the idea of a magnet because it's probably not going to escape your kitchen, and the next time you need to figure out exactly how many tablespoons is in 6 cups of flour, well, you got your conversion chart. Here we are in the room of the living. Design inspiration includes entertainment, special life events, pets, babies, stuff like that. First thing I have is a remote control tray/holder. This can be customized for Father's Day or anyone who just really loves TV, and it can maybe help train your kids to keep the remote in one spot and not underneath the couch like it always seems to be. Next, we got engraved chalkboard for upcoming movie nights. If you like making signs, have you tried making custom clocks? If you haven't made a clock yet, you should, because the little clock mechanism is pretty cheap, so it's worth a try. A custom key holder. When I was in shop class back in the day in high school, that was one of the projects we had to make. I still haven't even made it out of a jigsaw. Really wish lasers were a thing back then, because that would have made it a lot easier. And it's easy for you to make now. While we're on the subject of a key ring holder, are custom key rings. You can even make them fit into each other. One thing I have dabbled in myself is a custom mirror. Coat racks are pretty boring in the wild, so it's up to us laser people to make them interesting. If you're an old school fancy person, a hat hanger is also a good one. Bookends. It's like nobody really reads anymore. I like to read, so luckily I need bookends. While we're speaking of books, bookmarks, obviously. Lampshades. I don't hardly ever see this. Of course, at craft shows and stuff, it's probably not the place people are going to shop for a lampshade. Now I know what you're thinking. Laser lady, you're gonna set your house on fire. Well, I haven't yet. It's important that you use the right kind of light bulb. The LED ones don't get too hot, so do consider that. Or you can make like the chandelier type out of wood and all sorts of stuff. So think light, lampshades. It's a winning combination. While we're talking shades, let's just go full lamps. I've seen a lot of lanterns and stuff pop up here and there because, again, they're just so easy. I've seen these at craft shows and things like that, and people just gobble them up because that's not something you're normally going to find at a Walmart or Target or wherever boring. And it's important that we are able to make products that big box stores don't have. While we're on the subject of illumination, think light switch covers. And while we're on the subject of covers, think about outlet covers too. This I have seen only on very few occasions, and that is door frame outline decorations. It is such a clever idea, and it's flat. It's easily just a one-cut project for something to spruce up around those doorways. Just like anywhere else in the house, there's a bunch we can make for the bedroom. Design inspiration includes rest, sleepiness, obviously, as well as anniversary dates, marriage, stuff like that. First thing I have on my list is a jewelry tray or holder of some sort. You can put initials or special dates on there super easily. When I was growing up, I always had dream catchers. Thinking more about the closet now, custom hangers is something I definitely don't see enough. These would make great gifts for, say, someone getting married and the presents you give to all your bridesmaids and your groomsmen to hang their special suits and dresses or whatever. While we're on the subject of hangers, also making just those loopy things, that is a hanger space saver, is something I have on my list right now to make because I desperately need it now that it's warming up. All my sweaters are getting really crowded in there and I need a solution fast. One thing that seems boring when you have to buy a $15 paper one are calendars. And even though they are so expensive just in paper form, think how much you might be able to make with a engraved calendar. Calendars are just too flat and boring for you to even consider. Have you seen some of the mechanized calendars that are out there? They are super interesting. A laptop stand is a great idea. With Father's Day coming up and things like that, gift ideas definitely should include a stand that you can plug your phone into, set your wallet down on, and throw your change and everything else you have in your pockets into. Super helpful and makes a perfect gift. Speaking of where to hold your stuff, a keepsake chest. There are so many different files and things you can find or design for yourself out there. These make such beautiful gifts for just about anyone who has fancy jewelry or heirlooms that they want a safe place for. Well, I bet you didn't think we'd actually end up in the bathroom together, but here we are, so let's just roll with it. Design inspiration includes cleanliness, organization, humor, body language, things like that, as well as monograms and the like. So here's the list. A makeup brush organizer. If you have someone who likes makeup, who is a little bit of a messy person, or both. And while we're on the subject of organization, obviously any other kind of toiletries or shelving to make a small space, such as a bathroom, a little less messy is optimal. If you want to dive into things you can make for inside your shower, think about a loofah or washcloth hanger. Making a custom soap dish is a great idea. Not only can you use themes for bathrooms as your inspiration, but they are reusable and washable, especially when you use acrylic or a type of wood like bamboo, which is antimicrobial, I think, in its natural state, so it's a great option for the bathroom. Now, I know your bathroom probably already came with a TP dispenser, but has it come with a TP dispenser as cool as this one? I mean, how freaking neat is that? If you're a little extra in the bathroom, this might be the kind of project for you. One crazy idea is a drain cover. Not only can you have it match themes or colors of a bathroom, but it's kind of useful. Of course, a toothbrush hanger or caddy, a custom comb or beard comb makes not only a great present, but it's something that people can use or at least have around and remember you by. Next up, we got the great outdoors, which is perfect because it is time for my cat's recess. Design inspiration includes nature, obviously gardening, which I love, pets, and so much more. So here's the list. Custom wind chimes are a really fun idea for outside. Birdhouses galore. You can customize any birdhouse to certain kinds of birds and make them just super duper freaking cute. Why not? Squirrel picnic table. Now, not everyone loves squirrels, but I have accidentally taught my squirrels to always come to me for tasty treats. So if they had their own picnic table, that would just be adorable. Plant stakes are a pretty obvious one for outside. I actually have an entire video teaching you how to make that. And we aren't limited to small plant stakes. You can also make larger seasonal garden stakes to decorate around your lawn. If you're not too shy of heat shaping, making one of those swirly wind decorations, fairy gardens are so much fun, not only as an activity to do with your family, but some people are like super into it, so it could be a big money maker for you. You might think what could be fun about a grill utensil holder, and that is the customization options. What's outside? Potted plants? Well, let's make a fancy potted plant holder. And while you're making a potted plant holder, why not make a fancy potted plant stand? These are good for inside too. Of course, let's not forget the humble laser cut basket. It can be used for pretty much anything. Here's a fun one I don't see very much at all anywhere, even driving down the street, but I'm almost inspired to make my own at this point, and that is a mailbox topper. And lastly, for the great outdoors that I have on my list are house numbers. I know you can buy them and they're just numbers, but why not make them a little bit fun? I mean, make your house your home with something as simple as your house numbers. I hope I still have you here. If you are still following along with me, let's play a prank on everybody who only watches the first 30 seconds of the video. If you could comment like a frog emoji or even a story that you had with a frog once, you can make it up, it doesn't matter. That'd be a huge favor to me. Plus, then we'd have a secret little joke between us. So if you're a frog like me who likes to have fun, for this next one, our design inspirations include entertainment, fantasy, pop culture, animals, and things like that. The first one I have is puzzles. If you've never made a puzzle with your laser, you are missing out. Next up, we have board games. You can not only invent your whole own board game, but you can make a lot of the classic Chutes and Ladders, tic-tac-toe, stuff like that. Now, if those aren't your type of games, you can also make board game pieces, such as like for those war games, you need maybe little tokens or health counters. If you want a gift and a card all in one, then there are these pop-out wood gift cards. Far more interesting to hold on to than a paper card. But if you like paper cards, then one thing you can absolutely make, and I made a whole video about this as well, is a 3D pop-out card using just a little bit of cardstock and some tricky little design techniques. You can make your own 3D pop-out card for any occasion. And while we're making stuff for gifts, think about all the different kind of custom gift boxes you can make. Talking about weird shaped little things, I'm thinking miniatures for games like Dungeons and Dragons. You can make tiny roads and bridges and little taverns and things like that to really take your gameplay to a whole new fantasy level. And if you've ever played D&D, you know you have a lot of dice to roll, which is why dice towers are super fun. And there's more gamers than just on a table. There's also the video game gamers who usually have a really nice headset that might use a nice stand. Just like video game controller stands is a great gift idea, and it's an organizational idea for kids who are always losing their controllers. Custom card boxes are great whether you're into Magic the Gathering or even just a regular old deck of cards. And as we all know, gamers love competition. So be sure to add trophies and awards to your merchandise list. A little bit of a warning for the kids section coming up. Children and babies will stick pretty much anything in their mouths, so consider what kind of materials you are using, if they have any paint that can chip off, and the size of things, because everything is a choking hazard to a baby who is determined. And with that in mind, our design inspiration is obviously fun things, cute things, and learning, stuff like that. Let's get into it. I had mentioned puzzles in the for fun section, but for kids, name puzzles are super popular. Speaking of letter recognition, writing practice boards is something that was actually suggested to me by one of the viewers, so thank you for that. Using a whiteboard or a chalkboard where a kid can trace an etching of different letters or their name or specific words, anything like that that your kid can use, erase, and reuse. So, you know, they're learning. We're supposed to teach them stuff. It might as well be words and junk. So kids grow like weeds. We all know this, and we love measuring them getting bigger and bigger throughout life. And if you were like me, you were living in an apartment, measuring it on wall, and then you move, and then you measure them on a wall, and then you move, etc. So if you were to make something that measures your kid in a cutesy way, dinosaur, spaceship, something like that, that you can take with you in case you're more of a renter than like I was, then it's something that you can actually keep with you and you're not going to miss out on if you move. Baby milestone markers are great for new parents, baby showers, things like that, because they love taking pictures of their babies, and you never know how old they are until they have a little plaque next to them. When I was growing up, my mom made me a Barbie house out of just some wood she found, I think, in the alley somewhere. If you got a laser, you can make all the fancy little dollhouse doors and couches and a little, bed and all of the accessories to really make it special, and probably a lot cheaper than Barbie's dream houses these days. And if you have a kid that's not so into dolls and more into cars, think whole little car land. You got your little garage and a gas station and roads and stoplights. It would be a whole lot of fun making a little car land for somebody. You can even engrave those little cars for that little toy car town. Tooth fairy box. You know, these kids are losing their mouth bones left and right, and you got to put them somewhere for that tooth fairy because you need that tooth fairy money. I don't know about you, but any extra income into the family is appreciated. This one's a little more for teachers than it is for kids, but fun hall passes. Now, tiny little hands need a lot of practice doing little hand things, and that's why I love the idea of these shoelace or cross-stitching templates. A shape-fitting play set is something I think we all had as kids. A decoder wheel is something we need to bring back, okay? One thing that is really gaining popularity for the last decade or so is Montessori, however you want to say it, tactile toys. Children are great for a never-ending supply of engravable artworks. Kids are amazing artists. We might as well just engrave it into everything we have. Well, we saw some of my cats earlier, and I have chickens now, so let's do the pet section next to the chickens. Some of the design inspiration includes pet names, breed types, humor, memorials, stuff like that. Custom food bowl holders are actually super easy to make. Animal people love this stuff. I should know. I'm an animal person. If you have small pets or cater to small pets such as chihuahuas or cats and have a smaller laser, you can actually make like a cat bed with that. Cat toys I have made before, and darn it, I'm gonna make them again. They don't destroy toys quite the way dogs do. Just like talking about kids before, if you make dog toys, just consider it's all gonna end up chewing up in their mouth. So what is it made out of? Is it going to give them splinters? Are they going to get any toxic chemicals or paints off of there? That's why cat toys are a little bit better. They just bat them around. They're going to get bored of them in about 3 minutes anyway. So it's really just fun for me in that first 3 minutes. One thing that pets tend to do is they eat their treats way too fast. That's why it's good to have some sort of a treat puzzle. If you make anything for pets, you have to be making pet name tags. Not only can you make the official ones with like the name and the phone number and whatever, but cute little tags with their funny little names on it that you can then also make a matching keychain or necklace for the owner. And we're gonna need to put these leashes somewhere, don't we? So a custom leash holder is a super cute idea, especially for dog owners. They love their dogs so much. So if they had a little leash holder for each one of their dogs, those are gonna fly off your shelves. And of course, on the sad side of pets, making some sort of a memorial box or plaque for pets that have crossed the Rainbow Road is something that you should consider if you have pet merchandise. One thing you should absolutely be making with your laser is tools. What kind of tools, you ask? Literally anything. If you are making stuff, you probably have thought, boy, I could really use a little tool for this, and that's where your laser comes in. Here are a few examples. Firstly, different kind of cutting tools. I've been asked on several occasions by some of my quilter friends and such to make templates so they can just put it on their fabric, use their little cutting tool, and make like 100 different weird hexagons. And if you have a bunch of tools laying around, where are you gonna put them? Custom toolboxes and storage not only make good gifts, but are just good for organizing. If you are in business for anything at all, you need a business card holder. And while we're in the business of selling, custom merchandise stands are a must. As you can see here, a pegboard is a very normal organizational thing. A lot of us have already. I actually use it a lot in my displays when I am at craft shows. The only thing is there's no peg to put in the pegboard that actually hangs flat and nicely the different signs and things I make. So I made my own custom pegboard accessories. Drum roll, please. Very anticlimactic for number 100, and that's just a curve tool. It's something you probably have made yourself already, and if not, it's a super handy tool to have around, especially if you have a lot of crafts that you're trying to fit things into with different thicknesses of material, etc. You'll find you use it a lot, so definitely download one of those or make your own. So did I miss anything? If you think I left something out, please go and comment what that is. I love to learn from everybody. Also down there, you can find a link to the PDF I made of this awesome list that hopefully you got something out of. Just to let you guys know, I am not sponsored by anybody. The best way to help support me and my channel is just to like and subscribe and all those silly little YouTube things we're always asking you to do. Check out this old video over here. It's a hoot. Or if you want to keep your laser journey going, then check out this playlist over here. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you over there.